Hi, everybody. Welcome into another new episode of Catons Corner here on CUTV. As always, I'm your host, Tom Caton. The days are winding down very quickly here to the end of the show and the end of my senior year. You saw at the beginning, the graphic. There's only 4 shows left, including today's show. Obviously, there's only 4 shows left, and by the time we wrap up today, only 3 shows will be left. Don't forget, the farewell show is coming very soon, first week of May 4th, possibly, but we will see how things play out. It is a little comical because May 4th is referred to as Star Wars Day for Star Wars fans, and when I announced to the rest of CUTV people that my final show may possibly be filmed on May 4th, my good friend Johnny Sakaguchi immediately said, "May the 4th be with you." And in response, I had to say back, "The 4th will be with me." So I used to get nervous while doing the show, and there are still a few times that I do. You can probably tell by my glasses fogging up. Otherwise, it means it's just too hot in here. I'm not sure. But like when I first started the show, you could probably tell I was very nervous. I'm actually surprised I did go on to host more shows, but either way, I am proud of myself to pull through and go through 5 seasons of this show. And 5 seasons may be considered a long time for a CUTV show, even though it doesn't seem like a long time. But I won't get too sappy, though. I'm saving that all for the farewell show with Kleenex and everything. Even though the farewell show is not for at least another month, I've already started preparations for it. I've already started my final script. I have about 8 pages into it already. I'm trying to figure out what I want to say, and I'll have to finalize everything at the end. I've also started working on the logo for my final show and what pictures I want to showcase for the last show as well. But long story short, I know I'm ready for the final show, but I'm also in denial at the same time, just like Gary. But other than that, I don't want to give too much away for the final show. You'll just have to tune in when it airs. But let's move on to the first segment of the show and take a look at this week's memes of the week. This is the third to last installment of memes of the week, so let's go ahead and take a look at the first one. When the spider you thought you killed isn't there anymore. Yeah. No, I will move out of my house if that happens. Let's go to the next one. When COVID-19 is over and you can finally go finish the 8th grade, that'll be me. I will come back to Cal and finish my senior year. The senior year I didn't get to have. And let's go to the last one. Oprah reveals how she manages to stay stress-free at 64. Step 1, have $1 billion. I'll try to make that happen, don't worry. Those are my memes of the week. Of course, if you find a meme you think I should see, please send it to me. There isn't many installments left of the segment, so please hurry. All right, don't go anywhere. We need to take a commercial break, and we will be right back after this. Stay tuned, everybody. You are watching Catons Corner on CUTV.
The Vulcans are back in action, and CUTV has you covered. Baseball versus Wheeling. Baseball versus Walsh. Baseball doubleheader versus Slippery Rock. Baseball doubleheader versus Mercyhurst. Baseball doubleheader versus Clarion. Baseball doubleheader versus Seton Hill. Vulcan softball doubleheader versus Gannon. Softball doubleheader versus IUP. Softball doubleheader versus Slippery Rock. Softball doubleheader versus UPJ. Softball doubleheader versus Seton Hill. Vulcan swimming dual meet versus St. Francis. Vulcan tennis match against Edinburgh. Follow all the action live on CUTV Sports 1. And for more information, check out calvulcans.com.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. I'm very pleased to welcome my first guest. Next month, April, is Autism Awareness Month, which is a very important month for me. I know this is my first time formally announcing on this show, For many that know me, they're aware that I do have a form of autism, Asperger's syndrome to be exact. And my first guest is from the Caillou Counseling Center, and she is here to have a discussion with me about autism. Everyone, please welcome Stephanie Stern. Hi, Stephanie.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Hopefully, first and foremost, you're doing well. And I do want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule today to join me. The reason I contacted you is because I noticed last week you and Dr. John Masella led a discussion to speak about autism, and Dr. Masella is the director of the Office for Students with Disabilities. And unfortunately, he couldn't attend today's show taping, but I'm very grateful and appreciative that you were able to join today, so thank you very much. Autism is such a huge and important topic for me, and I'm pretty sure it is for you and Dr. Masella as well. And it can be difficult to explain autism for people that might not understand it. So first of all, if you just want to, as a basic definition, what is autism?
So I think that's a great question. And the idea of a basic definition, I think, is one that kind of throws me off because I don't necessarily think it's basic. But basically, as I say, basically, it's a broad range, basically, of symptoms that come together, but to get the diagnosis of autism. But it's basically having difficulties with social skills, repetitive behaviors, and then speech or nonverbal communication issues. So that's as simple as I can put it. But of course, because it's a spectrum disorder, the range of individuals that may have the disorder, I mean, is great.
I know for me, I was diagnosed around the age of 7 or 8, I'm not quite too sure, but Asperger's is a developmental disorder that affects the ability to effectively communicate and socialize. And growing up, I know I was very quiet and I kept to myself. And simple tasks were very difficult at times. And so there are different kinds of autism, correct?
Yes, that's also a trick question. So as you have said, that you have a type of autism called Asperger's. And really what has happened with the Diagnostic and Statistics Manual, which is the Holy Grail Bible that we use to provide diagnosis, they've done away with the nomenclature, if you will, of Asperger's or pervasive developmental disorder, NOS, and basically now give the diagnosis as along a continuum of severity. So there's levels of severity. And actually in the manual that I use, if I was giving a diagnosis, it very specifically says that those individuals who would have had the diagnosis of Asperger's or pervasive developmental disorder, NOS, would now just be given the moniker, I guess, of the diagnosis of autism spectrum disorder, which I know though, and I mean, you could answer this because I've with individuals that I work with, a lot of individuals that have a diagnosis of Asperger's syndrome, they want to keep that. And they feel like, changing it, I don't know, I don't know if it somehow illegitimizes your identity. And I don't know, and you know what, maybe you could even speak to that.
Trying to think here. I know that for right now, a lot of people, if I were to tell them, they tell me, oh, you look completely normal. But I know about 10 years ago or so, you could definitely tell that I had something wrong with me. And I know I got bullied for it. Thankfully, I had my twin sister with me to help me through it when we were in elementary school and junior high and all that. But just so many people don't really understand it. And why do you think that so many people might not fully understand the concept of autism?
I think it goes back to that idea that there is a basic definition. I think that most people, if you asked them, they would give you some kind of representation that would be like, Rain Man, if you're familiar with, or even younger children that have a lot of tantrums and they're more severe, maybe they would be nonverbal. And I feel like that's the presentation that people put with autism. And I don't think they realize the complexities of, the difficulties that people experience. And so I think that that's why coming to an individual that would have Asperger's disorder, a lot of people see that as someone's being rude or mean, like the social difficulties. And they're not expecting it to be autism because they believe that it would be something you can readily see. And I think that that's, people have a hard time when they're engaging with someone not getting back what they expect. And if they thought that there was some difficulty they think that they can see it. And I think that that's why they have a misrepresentation of what autism is in general, because it varies so much.
And I know you and Dr. Masella had a virtual discussion about it last week. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go because I had another club meeting at the time. But what exactly did you and Dr. Masella talk about in that discussion?
So basically what we wanted to do in that discussion was just give a very brief overview and answer questions that we thought would be very common, like what is autism? Or even more so, what might we experience in the college setting with individuals? Because like I said before, I think a lot of people are under the impression, well, if someone has autism, they wouldn't be in college. Like that there's somehow some limiting factor that they wouldn't be here. And so the goal was basically for students to help students understand some of the difficulties that may exist so that, when an individual, one of the examples I said, in my private practice, I worked with an individual who was college age, transitioning to college. And she actually said, like, she didn't have a lot of people asking if she wanted to go anywhere or do anything. And when we went through it, there were people that asked, did you want to go for coffee after class? She's like, no, I don't like coffee. She didn't see that as an attempt to make a connection. She didn't like coffee and didn't want to go for coffee, but missed kind of that social overture. And basically, those are the kinds of things that we wanted to kind of like highlight. Like, it's not always about, it might be very specifically what you're asking, and help people really understand that sometimes when there's social misconnection, that they could try in a different way. And it's not just for people with autism, it's for social interaction in general.
And I know that growing up for me, I was thinking, would I be able to be on my own because of autism? I know some people have more severe cases than me, but I would say for the most part, I'm doing pretty well. And I think it's a little bit ironic that for me, the disorder that I have, and I chose a communications major, which for people with Asperger's, it's hard to communicate and socialize. Like I said, about 10 years ago, I kept to myself. I only got in touch with people that I knew. I didn't go around anybody that I didn't know and all that. But as time went on, I know I had classes and specialists to help me out. And I know I'm definitely proud of where I stand today, and anybody out there else watching. But so I know for right now, we're having a good talk, but we need to take a quick commercial break. I'll have more with Stephanie, or talk more with Stephanie when we return in a moment. Stay tuned.
Have you seen the new Cal U Vulcan logo around? Have you wondered where to get gear featuring it? Then go to calvulcans.com and click shop. Log on and browse a full selection of men's shirts, women's shirts, pullovers, hoodies, and more. All items feature customization with the new Cal U Vulcan logo and wordmark. The site also features a full selection of hats, tailgating items, and accessories. Don't be the last person to sport new Cal U Vulcan gear. Go to calvulcans.com today.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm still joined with Stephanie Stern from the County Counseling Center and our candid discussion on autism. So we kind of touched a little bit about on this earlier, uh, about why people are quick to judge about autism, but not that many people know it or fully understand. But for you and you alone, what does autism mean to you?
So I'm not sure exactly what you mean, but I can answer what So I started working with young children with autism, 2001. And I really became fond of those kids. And I think one of the things that I like as far as autism is concerned, I know that sounds strange, but like working with individuals with autism or interacting or even providing counseling is that there's a lot of clarity. Like, I like the fact that, sometimes the neurotypical individuals get caught up in socialization or what they think people mean versus what they're actually saying. And I think there's something to learn to individuals who kind of can weed out like the social kind of perspective in a way and kind of say, well, this is how it is. And that's it. And I found something very refreshing about, like, I know what I'm going to get with certainly of the individuals that I worked with. And that's not necessarily autism, but at the same time, like, I found it more specific that they are going to tell me what they're thinking as opposed to some innuendo going on or some undertone. And I think I've come full circle as far as autism is concerned. Like I said, I worked with a lot of little kids, and then I kind of graduated into working with individuals in the transition high school to college, and now working in the college counseling center. I've kind of matured, I guess, if you will, in that regard, and that's why I have like a fondness for working with individuals on the spectrum.
And like I said in the beginning, April is an important month for me for Autism Awareness Month. Is it an important month for you as well?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of focus on, like I said, little kids and autism with the Autism Speaks Walks and all of that stuff. And I've certainly participated in those over the years. But I'm interested at this point, like, this is my first semester working at Cal U, and I'm really interested in seeing kind of what can be done or what is done for more older individuals or adults even with autism.
So again, I know we touched on it, but it is important for people to know and understand what autism is. There's still instances I may face, I don't know, ridicule because I have something I can't control. But anyway, I just look at it as obstacles that I've overcome over the years. I know it's embarrassing for me to say this, but I know I didn't learn how to tie my shoes until I was about 13, because I don't know why, I just felt like impossible to accomplish, and I would wear slip-on shoes, and then I finally was able to tie them. But like I said, simple tasks like that were difficult. Can that happen sometimes with people with autism?
What do you mean specifically, like tasks that are typical or that are easier for others or more difficult?
Yeah, like simple tasks. Like my sisters, they knew how to tie their shoes by the time they were 6 or 7. And for me, it was difficult, and I didn't learn until I was about 13. So some tasks for people with autism may be more difficult to handle.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point, is that sometimes they're more difficult, and sometimes we have to ask ourselves, like, is it necessary? Like, certainly tying your shoes might be necessary, but some of the struggles that individuals deal with, it's not a preference, it's a struggle, versus I have a preference for, I don't know, like, I'm trying to think, I don't even know what, like, I don't like a lot of noise, but an individual that might have an issue and struggle with toning down the noise or screening out the noise, that would be a struggle. And like you said, like I think it's important that people understand that people with autism have different struggles, because, as well as everybody else, because it isn't like you chose not to tie your shoes. It isn't like you chose to like misbehave or something like that. Like, everybody has their struggles, and those individuals with autism, their struggles may be different. And I think that's why it's important to educate people on differences.
And before we wrap up this interview, any final words you would like to say?
No, I think that I would. The only thing I think is that, I think it's a fine balance between educating people on autism and also just educating people in general about everybody has their own struggles, everybody has their own differences, everybody has strengths, everybody has weaknesses. And it's not really even about needing to know if the person sitting next to you, in fact, has a label or a diagnosis that would be autism. It's just knowing that everything isn't always about me. There may be something going on with somebody else, and we don't always have to look at the world through our own lens. We sometimes have to take a step out and see how somebody may see the world as well. And I think even if it isn't something about autism or something that we don't necessarily know about autism, because you don't always know. I mean, people don't walk around with shirts on, what their struggles are, what they have to deal with in their everyday life. Just being conscious of, not everything is about you, that there are people that struggle, and your interaction with them can be kinder or more accepting, no matter what it is.
And one last thing before we go to break again, I know I have on my Autism Awareness bracelet that I wear every single day. So yeah, just to bring awareness and just let people know. But Stephanie, thank you again so much for taking time out of your day to be here. I really appreciate your inputs. Because again, autism is just an important topic to me. But thank you again. I appreciate it.
Sure.
All right.
Thank you.
We need to take another commercial break, and we will be right back after this. Stay tuned.
Hey Johnny, why do you look so sad?
Well, no, I'm not sure how my friends and family back in Gibbon Glade, Pennsylvania can keep track of all our CUTV programming when they can't watch.
Well, Johnny, they could subscribe to our new CUTV and Friends podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Hey, thanks, Noel!
Welcome back to the show, everyone. My next guest is no stranger to my show because she's been here 2 other times before. She's here today for her final appearance because these last few shows are winding down very quickly. I've only known her since freshman year. Everyone, please welcome my good friend, Kimmy Rhodes. Hi, Kimmy.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm good. Before we go anywhere, I see Daisy is joining us today as well.
Yes. Since we're not in the studio today, I'm at home. We are able to have little Daisy here. So she's excited to be making her appearance.
Yes. So my first time I've had a dog on my show either. So first of all, Kim, I hope you're doing well. This is your 3rd appearance on my show.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which guest holds the record for most appearances, but the only person I know that comes to mind is me. I've made the most appearances. But it's always good to have you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's great. Always great to be on, and I'm very happy that your show's been successful and like everything like that. I'm sad it's ending though.
You're telling me. And I know you always hold the title of being my very first guest ever on the very first episode ever.
Yeah.
It was February 22nd, 2019. I know I have a picture here.
Oh
There I am. I don't know what I was thinking that day, but my then co-host, Alyssa Henry, and you sitting in the chair next to me.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. I know you were here to talk about your YouTube life and other stuff.
Yeah.
Then your second appearance, which was almost a year later, on January 30th, 2020. I have that picture here, before everything shut down the last time.
Yeah.
It's it's crazy that we've been in this pandemic for over a year now.
Oh, I know. It is.
It's
Insane.
it's unbelievable.
It really is.
But here you are again for the last time. You've been in almost every single set you could imagine. But it's unreal to see how much we've grown, not only in 2 years on the show, but overall 4 years being here at Cal U.
Yeah,
So
it's very weird looking back and just seeing how everybody has grown and the directions they're going, and how we all had like this set plan, you know, whenever we first came here to Cal, and now it's just like, you know, life gives you a certain path and you go on it. And I think it's really fun and interesting to watch everybody go on their own paths and live their own lives.
wise words. So first, let's talk about TikTok real quick. I would say you're doing exceptionally well. I know last time you were here, talked about TikTok. Last time you were here, you had a little over 300,000 followers, and now you have over 1.2 million followers. Is that correct?
Yes, it is correct. And it's still crazy to hear that number.
Did you ever think that you would reach that number of followers?
No. Well, I don't want to say no, because I don't know, I've always had this passion in me to entertain, to make people happy, to make people laugh, and I've always known I've had a knack for that. And so I guess it's not like, oh, I've always known I could do it, but like at the same time, I've always had that confidence to be like, you can do this. And so to see that coming true is very inspirational to myself to keep going and keep growing and keep doing more. So.
And some of your videos can get very popular. Do you know which one is your most popular right now?
I want to say it's between, there's this one video that had 2 million likes. That was a Christmas one, I believe, where I went to Walmart and picked out a bunch of Christmas items for a child. And then the second most popular one, I believe, is of Daisy, whenever I told her she was adopted and she threw like a little hissy fit. That's probably my favorite video ever.
I remember that video.
Yeah, because she just reacted so well. It was hysterical. But yeah, I think those are my most popular ones. But also my Jerry videos are very popular too. So.
Love Jerry. Speaking of Jerry, I know if you want to explain what's Jerry to people.
So I kind of always feel like I have a presence around me. I don't know if it's my father. For those of you who don't know, my father has passed away. But I, would always kind of feel something down in the basement, and nothing bad or anything like that. But I would joke around with my friends like, oh, it's Jerry, da 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 da, like, and my friend came up with this name and I was like, oh, it's Jerry. And then I was like, wouldn't it be funny if it like was a skit on TikTok? And so I started doing the Jerry skits on TikTok, and it just blew up. And now that's what I'm known for. I try and do at least one Jerry video a week, if not more. I usually can do more. But it's, a lot of people love those videos and look forward to them. And knowing that people are looking forward to that, like that makes their day or their week, like makes me so happy. And I try very hard to make people happy. So
would you definitely say then that Jerry the Ghost is real?
Absolutely. He might not be as active as he is in my videos, but absolutely. Daisy sometimes will just stare at the door down to the basement. A lot of times or will bark at nothing. Not saying that, oh yeah, that's definitely a ghost, but whether it is my dad or another ghost named Jerry, there's definitely something here, but it's certainly not malevolent. I think that's the word I want to use. or bad. I don't even know if malevolent was the right word, but it's not bad at all. And I feel a very calm energy, and I have all my chakra stones and everything, and I'm always just like burning incense and all that stuff. So we have good vibes in this house. It's all good.
And so back to your videos, is there, besides the ones you explained, do you have any other favorite videos that you've ever made?
The ones I sent over to you are some of my favorites, and they get a lot of likes, don't get me wrong. And honestly, at the end of the day, while likes do matter at the same time, because, TikTok is my job now, and, to make money, you have to,
Right.
do well. But at the same time, I also just like doing what I love. And I like doing things for movies, maybe cosplaying a little bit. I sent you a video of me doing Matilda, and then Miss Hannigan, and Miranda Priestley from your
Yes.
favorite Devil Wears Prada. I was like, I have to send that to Be on Tom's show because I know it's one of his favorite movies. And just lip syncing and acting out these really cool movie scenes. I love doing that. And I know it sounds so cliche, but I would love to be in films. I want to act. I want to be an actress. Do you know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
I feel like this is a very good foot in the door. And if it happens, it happens. And if it doesn't, hey, I'm having fun right now and I'm just living. You know what I mean?
Right. And speaking of the Devil Wears Prada, now that I'm stuck in quarantine because everyone in my house has tested positive for COVID, including me.
I know, I heard.
And so now that's my, hey, it kills when I watch a movie, it kills 2.5 hours.
Exactly.
So, but, all right. Well, we need to take a quick commercial break. More with Kimmy when we return after this. Stay tuned, everybody.
Hey Johnny, why do you look so sad?
Well, no, I'm not sure how my friends and family back in Gibbon Glade, Pennsylvania can keep track of all our CTV programming when they can't watch.
Well, Johnny, they could subscribe to our new CTV and Friends podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Hey, thanks, Noel.
Our fellow Americans.
Right now, the COVID-19 vaccines are available to millions of Americans.
And soon, they will be available to everyone.
The science is clear. These vaccines will protect you and those you love from this dangerous and deadly disease.
They could save your life.
So we urge you to get vaccinated when it's available to you.
That's the first step to ending the pandemic and moving our country forward. It's up to you.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together,
we should still make an effort.
To get to know each other
on a deeper level. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
It's time we take a step forward.
Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Welcome back, everybody. Kimmy is still joining me here. It's the end of the show, but before we go, I want to ask Kimmy a few of my burning questions. So let's play a quick round.
Okay.
So how this game works, I'll just ask a random rapid fire question. And you just have to come up with the first answer that comes to mind. I'll play along. We would have a winner, and it's me, so I win automatically.
I don't know about that, Tom. I think it's me.
We'll find out. All right, so first question. Who is someone you would want to quarantine with?
Stevie Nicks.
No hesitation. I know for me, I'd probably say Lady Gaga. I like how we both chose music people because they can entertain us. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, I love Stevie Nicks so much. I would die if I met her.
Let's say I know you're like the ultimate Stevie Nicks fan.
Yeah, I've seen her 3 times in concert, and every time it's just been the best night of my life.
I'm trying to remember. I think the last time I went to a concert before COVID was, I think I saw Rascal Flatts. I
Yeah,
believe.
that's
So
a good concert.
he never disappoints. All right, next one. Who is someone you wouldn't want to quarantine with?
I don't know if I can say this.
I already have a feeling I know what you're gonna say.
Donald
I-
Trump.
It's okay. We can make jokes here.
I mean, honestly, that's who I wouldn't want to quarantine with, to be honest.
I just have for me, yeah, I wouldn't want to quarantine with any kind of politician.
Agreed.
Sorry, no.
Agreed.
All right. Next one. Favorite day of the week.
I want to say Friday, but there's something so therapeutic about like a Sunday. I'm going to say Friday.
I would say Saturday because Friday I still have classes, and Sunday you're worrying about Monday the next day.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, Saturday is a good day. I don't know. Part of me likes doing normal stuff during the day on Friday and then just knowing like there's that anticipation like, oh, like this evening is going to be fun, or I'm going to hang out with friends, or usually it would be I'm going to hang out with friends, or I'm going to go to the bar and see my friends, or we're going to go to an amusement park or something like that on a Friday evening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. All right. Next one. What movie traumatized you as a kid?
Misery by Stephen King. So my dad was watching Misery, and my mom and dad would just watch whatever, and I would just, be there. They didn't care, which is fine. I got exposed to a lot at a young age, but I'll never forget walking in on the scene where Kathy Bates has the sledgehammer and she's just whacking at his feet or his ankles, breaking them so he can't get up and walk. And I just remember like staring at the TV and just being like, oh my gosh. And her face was just so evil looking. And so that definitely traumatized me.
I know for me it's definitely, I don't know if you've heard of Killer Clowns from Outer Space. That one from 1988. I know that one. That one scared me because, I hate clowns. So
Yeah, I have.
That one traumatized me.
Yeah.
All right, next one. You can only eat one type of food for the rest of your life. What would it be?
Gosh. Probably steak. I love steak so much. I don't know. See, my mind is like, okay, what are the nutritional benefits of that? And da 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 da. I guess if you had to pick one food, it would be very difficult to divvy that down. But if we're not thinking about like your arteries clogging or anything, steak.
Right.
I love steak. It's so
good. I was thinking of saying that, but I know for me, I'd probably go with pizza. So.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Last one. What would the movie of your life be called?
The movie of my life. Oh gosh.
I at least know for me, it would be Big Hot Mess.
I was going to say mine is existential crisis every day. Every day, I'm just like, I feel like I think so deeply. I feel like I think too deeply sometimes about some things, and I get myself into this worry rut, and yeah, so.
We're joking, but we can relate.
Yeah.
Most of the time. All right, well, if that's how you play Burning Questions, I'll dedicate us both the winners. But I'll let you win since it's your last time being here. Well, maybe you can take over the show for me. That can be your prize. For next year.
I don't know if I could follow that up though. I don't know.
Instead of being Catons Corner, it'll be Kimmy's Corner. See, it still follows that.
I know, but this
double C sound. Well, that does wrap up today's show. Of course, I'd like to thank all my guests for joining me, Stephanie Stern and Kimmy. A huge thank you, of course, always goes out to Gary Smith, our director
Yes,
and
thank you.
MVP. That's all for today. Only 3 shows left to go until it's all over. But I know I'm going to be stocked up on my Kleenex for the last show.
Yes.
But again, Kimmy, thank you so much for being here today. I know
Having
we'll
me.
definitely keep in touch.
Yes, absolutely.
So thank you so much for watching. Until next time, wear a mask, keep your hands clean, stay safe. Bye, everybody.